Hey everybody, it's 3 o'clock. It's Tuesday. I'm Gary Lucas. I'm here to play for you. And, well, let's just get right down to it. Okay, that's an instrumental and original that was on an album called Street of Lost Brothers, and it's entitled Level the Playing Field, which was my response to the propaganda that circulated about the benefits of the internet, leveling the playing field. And actually that's what I'm doing here. Because of the miracle of my little iPhone and Facebook, the dreaded Facebook, I'm going out to a worldwide audience here, and I so appreciate your watching. What can I say? That's called On Two Roads, and that's a Chinese pop song that came out of Shanghai in the 40s, sung by the magnificent golden voice of China, Zhou Xuan. And I've recorded a version of it with a great Chinese singer from mainland China, Feifei Yang, and Jason Candler on saxophone, and we'd love to play that. And I wish I could be here with them now to do that for you. But I have a lot of different music for you today. All right, here's one for the Jeff Buckley fans out there. When Jeff and I got together in 1991 to start collaborating, I invited him on my project Gods and Monsters, which is my longtime band that I've been running since 1989. So here we are in 1991, shortly after I met Jeff at a tribute to his dad, Tim Buckley, great Tim Buckley. And I wrote about a dozen songs with Jeff. And this is some music that I composed. I remember it very clearly. I was on a never-ending tour solo that started in the UK at the end of October and went through November and December. It was about a 12-week endurance test. But it finished in Amsterdam, and I was staying at the atelier of my good friend Joop Ver, who's a great Dutch painter and madman. And on New Year's Eve, I remember staying up with him and then crashing in his studio. And in the middle of the night, I woke up and I had this music. And I had to get it down under my fingers. And I said, okay, I'm going to give this to Jeff. So I'm going to play that for you now. It's called Dream of a Russian Princess. I have to do these things in tune, and the problem is I'm out here now almost in direct sunlight. I have a western exposure out the window here, and we're moving into near summer, and so I can get a suntan just standing here. I normally avoid direct sunlight. I'm kind of photophobic, and anyway, here, yeah. Okay, well, that is Dream of a Russian Princess, and I gave it to Jeff, and he really dug it, and he added a little bit of music there, but he never did add lyrics to it. So I recorded it as an instrumental, and it's on an album of mine called Gods and Monsters, which you should look out for. And I think I'll switch to electric guitar. now and do some music. I need a bottleneck. I'm gonna do some music I did with Captain Beefheart. I'm gonna start seated. Okay, I had a lot of requests for this. This is it's an instrumental called Flavor Bud Living, which is on the Captain Beefheart album Dock at the Radar Station from 1980, which I worked on taking leave of absences from my day job at CBS Records. At that point, I was a copywriter, but my dream was to play with this guy. So he sent me this music, and he said, learn this. And it was extremely difficult, but I would say I wouldn't be the guitar player I am today, such as it is, without this kind of basic kind of shock treatment from Beefheart, because he insisted on trying to have you play exactly as how he would play these things on a piano. Sometimes he would whistle or scat sing these parts. And this I learned off a tape of another guitarist, John French, who's also an amazing drummer. And it was on an album that had not come out at that point called Bat Chain Puller. And he said, I want you to apply my exploding note theory to this. I don't like the way this guy played it, although I think it's beautiful the way French played it. And I said, well, what's that? And he said, well, just play every note as if it has nothing to do with the previous note or the subsequent note. Well, anyway, I went out in the spring of 1980 and went into the studio, and almost immediately they recorded this piece. So you can hear it, and anyway, here it is. It's Flavor Bud Living. I had a lot of requests for that, and people asking me how I played it, what I showed them, and that's how I played it. I hope that came out on the screen, but I'm available for private instruction if you're so interested. Just contact me at Gary at GaryLucas.com or Facebook. But okay, staying on the Beefheart tip for a second. that's an abridged version of a piece called Suction Prince, which was recorded. Well, it appears on the Shiny Beast album, but I remember seeing Don do this at Town Hall in 1973 when he had, I think it was a 6-piece band that he had Roy Estrada playing bass, Rockhead Morton on guitar, Zoot Horn Roll on guitar, Artie Tripp on drums, Don, and also Alex Snaufer on third guitar. An amazing lineup. And I've recorded it a couple of times, once with a band called Fast and Bulbous, and check them out. We did 2 albums on Cuneiform. Philip Johnston and I co-led this band. And then I do it again. Do I do this on here? Yeah, there's a smoking version on this album on the Knitting Factory label called The World of Captain Beefheart, featuring the fabulous Nona Hendrix. Check that out. Also, check out the complete Jeff Buckley and Gary Lucas on Ezzard Disco, an Italian label. I believe it's widely available, though, in the world. All the songs I wrote with Jeff, although Dream of a Russian Princess is not on there. So that was a bonus track. And then look for this one coming out September 11th of this year, The Essential Gary Lucas. It's a double CD with a beautiful package by Steve Byram and extensive liner notes by Glenn Kenny. And it's a good one. It's got a lot of rare tracks. I posted a picture of Adrian Sherwood, the great English reggae dub producer and mixologist extraordinaire. This morning on Facebook, we worked on a track together that appears only on this album in the form that it's in. And while I have your attention here, I want to say special thanks to the following folks who contributed to PayPal, where my address remains gary@garylucas.com. Pamela Batting, who was so generous. I mean, she put the bad into batting. And when she was good, she was very, very good. But when she was bad, she was super good. Mickey McMahon, again, he must have 3 or 4 times donated. Bradley Stevens, another repeat satisfied customer. Steve Schermerhorn, thank you so much. Kenneth Rhodes and Donald Abrams. And I would answer you all at length in real time, but I've been a little bit preoccupied, haven't we all, in trying to get through this. But I hope this helps in some small way. I can entertain you and take your mind off of some of the grim statistics. I'm going to switch now to my 1920s National Steel Duolian, which I recently only started taking out to play again. And I worked out an arrangement of the Largo from Dvorak's Ninth Symphony from the New World, and I had some requests for that music. This is on an album called Gary Lucas Plays Bohemian Classics. I believe it's on Spotify. It would be even better if you checked out www.garylucas.com, because I have some vinyl copies of this album available, I believe. Ask webmaster Tanya. So let's see. Okay, the Largo, also known as Coming Home, from Dvorak's New World Symphony. There have been some beautiful gospel versions of that. I thought it was calling out for a steel guitar rendition. And, well, I think there's time for one more. Let's see what we got. Oh, yeah. This is a piece by Sun Ra. All right, that's all we got time for today. Thank you so much for visiting me here in my apartment in the West Village. And I look forward to seeing you guys on Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As always, it's your friend Gary Lucas. Stay safe.